So, hello again. This session is an overview of art in years 7 and 8 at GIBS, and it is intended especially for year 5 and 6 students who are uncertain if they should choose art or music for year 7. I will also give a short overview of the difference between the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum and the International Baccalaureate Visual Arts program. Let's start first of all off with the Art Matura curriculum, which continues the upper school Matura topics. In year 7, we start off with formal design criteria, which includes perception analysis and analyzing artworks. Here, we learn about what questions are relevant to ask when something catches your eye, regardless of what it may be. Whether it's a hat, a car, a retro radio, but especially for intriguing artworks, there are levels of inquiry that offer different perspectives that are needed for understanding a work more fully. Iconography refers to the visual coding that has often been used by artists to convey ideas through images, such as symbols or colors, that could not be expressed with words for various reasons. Art and artists within society looks at how the role of the artist has evolved over the last millennium, from handworker to visual poet to social prophet. We investigate a number of art legends who revolutionized the role of art within society. Then we move on to architecture, first looking at how architectural elements construct not only buildings, but also the spaces in which we live and grow. We look at how living spaces and homes have changed over the past millennia in Europe, along with how sacred spaces have also changed. And we also look at one recurrent theme in architecture referred to as form versus function. Next, we look more closely at the human figure, in particular at a kind of figurative image making that more than any other continues to be used even after thousands of years as the most direct means of identifying who we are, from our outer superficial looks to our innermost private selves. Portraits, including an important subset from self-portraits to selfies. Then we observe art in peace, revolution, and war, specifically how throughout history one unexpected genre of painting has been employed to convey both inner Bob Ross serenity and apocalyptic upheaval, landscapes. Finally, in year 7, we look at art in public space, in particular at graffiti and street art, which includes making our own, somewhere in Graz. Year 8 starts off with art and power, which regards ways in which art has been used to inspire the best in us and misused to intimidate the worst. From the propaganda of authoritarian aesthetics to the pomp of imperial portraits, the glorification of military art, and the brutal honesty of art that shows us the disasters of war. Next, normally, comes a surprise unit that is often related to the Matura ball, one that focuses on an aspect of simplicity versus ornamentation, along with single medium versus the multimedia experience. This year, since the ball was canceled by COVID-19, we have invited an Austrian artist to help Year 8 students plan and print a series of screen-printed t-shirt designs, which not only gives them cool self-made t-shirts, but also raises money for their Matura trip. We then return to the human figure, this time regarding the nude and the way that the depiction of the naked human figure has been reinterpreted over and over in ways that reflect more who we are on the inside than on the outside. Which leads us to our final unit in year 8, art is a reflection of society, which it does with high-def macro lens accuracy, even as it reflects us as individuals with micro lens precision. Those are the ArtGIBS Matura topics covered in years 7 and 8. The next question is, what is the difference between this curriculum and the International Baccalaureate Visual Arts Diploma program? There are many differences, and most of them are striking. One program is not better than the other. yet they are distinctly different programs and appeal to different kinds of art students. Let me highlight the main differences. First of all, in theory, with the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum, you have an understanding of art historical dynamics. It's not about specific dates, though. You have 14 Matura topics. You have familiarity with highlights of Western visual artworks. That's our picture catalog, called in short PICCAT. In the IB Visual Arts Diploma program, you have a self-selection of focus and research. You have a comparison study of relevant artworks by other artists, including detailed written and visual documentation of research. But you do not have a set curriculum that you need to follow. In practice, the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum is all about semester portfolios. We have our Matura topics, there are input, there are output exercises. With the IB Visual Arts Diploma program, we do have a book that we work with. There's also the Visual Arts Journal. There's the Comparative Study Design, and the process portfolio detailing progress of independent study. Exhibition. For the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum, that is wholly optional. But for the IB program, it's mandatory. In fact, 40% of your grade is based upon your final exhibition. Assessment. In the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum, your semester portfolios are assessed by your art teacher according to objectively demonstrable criteria, with creativity and aesthetic quality being individual-based. If selected as a Matura subject, your Matura oral exam with optional portfolio presentation will be assessed by your art teacher and your Matura committee. In the IB program, there is an external assessment that is an expert outside of the school who receives the digital submission and assesses it based upon content and aesthetic character. This includes the comparative study, 20%. That's 10 to 20 screens which analyze the extent to which the student's work has been influenced by the art and artists examined. There's a process portfolio, which counts 40%. 15 to 25 screens showing evidence of different art-making forms. Then there's the final exhibition documentation, which is also 40%, and that's 5 to 10 artworks plus written curatorial rationale. So, your main emphasis in the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum is that the understanding of art history and the oscillation of dynamic energy it reveals over the last millennia of human existence allows us to better comprehend our human identity as an evolving species, as well as our own individual identities as creative beings. In the IB Visual Arts Diploma program, the main emphasis is on personal artistic development with a disciplined reflection and rigorous documentation of process development and external influences. Main differences. There are 14 ArtGIBS Matura topics. Student-oriented assessment by art teacher. For the IB program, there's the self-selection of focus and research. There's the assessment by an external expert with a lengthy detailed check sheet. Main similarities? Mimesis, that is, imitative representation, is one among many well-defined objectives within art, which in itself encompasses much, much more. Creativity is necessary to succeed in every field and vocation. Creative energy is not exclusive to art and can be found elsewhere, yet art is its natural home, where we can see it working and playing most purely. Learn how it acts there if you want to interact with it more easily elsewhere. So, if you think about these pictures of the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum and the IB Visual Arts Diploma program, have them as pictures in your head, you could think about it like this. In the foreground, for the ArtGIBS Matura, you have the awareness of art historical dynamics as enrichment of a sense of identity. In the middle ground, you have recognizing how to tap one's own creative energy. In the background, there's the documentation of process and influence. In contrast, The IB Visual Arts Diploma program presents in the foreground personal artistic development, in the middle ground a documentation of process and influence, and in the background there's the awareness of art historical dynamics as an enrichment of a sense of identity. Those are the most significant takeaways. If you have any questions about either the ArtGIBS Matura curriculum or the IB Visual Arts Diploma program, do not hesitate to contact me either in school or via email. Remember, take care of yourselves and your gnathic mojo.